Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome to some beautiful news from the FIDE World Rapid Chess Championship in 2024. The chess community has now a new world champion. It is Volodar Murzin from Russia. He's a talented player. He's only 18 years old and he gained 10 points out of the 13 rounds that we have seen. Incredible, really spectacular performance. When we watch now also Volodar's game, I think this win, this epic trophy is a deserved one because Volodar played really sharp, aggressive, beautiful tactical chess with really, really beautiful novelties, really, really great performance, and he has now really this beautiful throne. Congratulations to Volodar. He really deserved this one. And I've been asked now by a couple of my viewers to comment on this recent chess drama that happened between Magnus Carlsen and the FIDE organization. I'm not going to dive too deep into this problems because it's not my thing to tell anything about it. Probably Magnus Carlsen knows more and the FIDE organization knows more about this topic. But I would really just say that Magnus Carlsen and FIDE are basically the most stubborn entities in the chess community, probably. So it couldn't really end in a good way. Although I would say if Magnus Carlsen would be in the lead after round two, after the day two, and he would be asked maybe to change his pens, I still think that Magnus Carlsen would do so. So it was simply just a bad decision by FIDE, just a bad decision by Magnus. So we really don't need that. Although I'm not sure if Magnus Carlsen would even win this Rapid Chess Championship because, as I said, Volodar Murzin is now the deserved winner. He played really, really brilliant chess. And I've sorted out now an amazing gameplay by Volodar from the round 12. But I think this was an important game in which Volodar took off and then he couldn't be catched anymore because in the round 3 or 13 he made a draw and his opponent was, of course, another top prodigy, Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa. Prag played, I think, warm cold in this event, played brilliant games but also a couple of bad games. Couldn't make better, but I think still a good performance also by Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa. So let's see now one game by the winner here with the white pieces. Prag opened with the move e4. Volodar's response was e5. We have knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, bishop to c5. We have now so far the Gioco piano. c3, the classical variation. After knight to f6, we have now the center attack here by Prag, immediately going aggressively into the game. And I loved here Prag's choice because Prag had to do something in order to somehow keep his chances to maybe finish on the first place. We have e takes d4, e5 here passing through, which becomes now a very, very aggressive line. And now after move d5, we have now the so-called Greco Gambit. And what should now white do? The issue is here, you cannot take the knight. It has been played many times in chess history, and this was one of my studies when my father taught me how to play chess, that I shouldn't be scared about this line. And then after e takes f6, then you can pick up this one. Maybe black can be challenged in this way, but then you play calm rook to g8, calcing bishop to e6, and here I would say black is much better. Here c takes d4 can be met with knight takes d4, and here black is getting out of this mess. We'll play queen to d7, queenside calcing, and I think white doesn't have anything in this particular line. So that's why after here d5 that Murzin played, we have now bishop to b5 by Prag, attacking now the knight and putting more pressure against this knight, of course, that is also attacking the e5 pawn. Volodar Murzin plays now knight to e4. We have c takes d4, and now bishop to b6, keeping, of course, an eye against this backward pawn on d4. Knight to c3 here by Prag, and now calcing. Bishop to e3, bishop to f5, supporting, of course, this powerful knight on e4. We have now calcing by Prag, and now comes, I think, the first tiny little critical moment of the game. Here, Volodar Murzin plays a risky line. I'm not going to say this is a mistake or something, but this move, I think, helps out here white in a strategic way, I would say, because here Volodar plays now knight takes c3. Maybe black should have somehow kept the tension in the center of the game, should not take, because this move knight to c3 and after b takes c3 simply improves the pawn structure in the center of the board. The pawns are now compact. The white keeps, of course, the space advantage that white has in the beginning. So risky line. A better choice is maybe to play knight to e7. You can also play bishop to g4. Seems also tempting, putting more pressure against this knight. The queen would be then a little bit overloaded to the defense of the knight. Knight to e7, I think, is here the most natural way, and then after bishop to d3, f6, you're trying, of course, to break this pawn chain that white built in the beginning of the game. But knight to c3 leads now, I would say, in a slightly better continuation here for white. D takes c3, and now here Volodar Murzin plays now a theoretical novelty, the move f6. And I love now the new signs here on Lichess, a little bit changed. They have changed a little bit the interface. I really love it. I really like it. Really, really huge improvement in graphics. Now we see now after move f6 we have now completely new game. We have now position that hasn't been reached so far in chess history. Queen to d2 by Pragg, good decision. Bishop to e4. Now comes this idea to put more pressure against the knight on f3 and somehow also challenging the pawn on e5. Pragg continues with bishop to c6, b takes c6, and okay, Pragg gives up now the bishop for a knight, but this bishop pair of blacks is actually not so optimal. This bishop on b6 is actually stuck here. It cannot escape. It cannot be included anymore into the game. So from a strategic point of view, I would say again, white should be much better here. E takes f6. We have now bishop to f3. Great counterplay here by Volodar, trying to somehow mess up the pawn structure in front of the king. But of course, Pragg has this in-between attack with f takes g7, rook to f7, g takes f3, and now queen to f6. This was now Volodar's idea to put more pressure here on the f file. He has, of course, still time to pick up the pawn on g7 whenever he likes. But the issue still is this bad bishop on b6, which is simply stuck here and is not going to probably participate in the game. This bishop of Pragg's is, of course, much better, controls this diagonal, and white can, of course, continue to pressure here on the king side. f4 by Pragg keeps here a solid structure, but the downside now for Pragg is a little bit that he also somehow blocked his dark square bishop. Maybe the bishop should breathe, but probably Pragg didn't want to lose just his f-pawn. Queen to f5, we have now king to h1, and now here Volodar plays rook to g7, which was a slight inaccuracy, I would say, because what he should have done is simply include more pieces into the attack, and then after something like rook from a to e1, then you could maybe somehow try to do something against this pawn on c3, at least overload a little bit the queen on d2, trying to do something with this bishop. Still, the bishop cannot get out, but at least you're fighting here for a draw. I would say here black is basically fighting for a draw. But after king to h1, Volodar took. Pragg plays now the correct choice, queen to e2, because queen to e4 is not so dangerous. It can be always met with f3, and then you're faster on the g file. You have the rook connection, and then the king could be endangered here on the g file. But okay, after queen to e2, Volodar plays king to f7. Volodar comes now with a spectacular idea. He's trying now to include his king into the game, which is a risky idea, but in faster time formats, I would say it's a spectacular idea, because this game is really not far away from a fully endgame stage, and when we reach the fully endgame stage, the king is supposed to play as an active piece. So I really loved, maybe from a, I would say, again, tactical point of view, I really love this choice, although this is risky. The engine doesn't like this move, but Volodar is very an aggressive, very progressive player. He's trying now to do something with his king. Queen to f3 wasn't a good move here by Pragg, because this move leaves a little bit this pawn on c3 unprotected, and also is not competing immediately here on the g file. Here, Pragg should have gone immediately into this line with rook to g1, and then after a couple of trades of rooks, you see Pragg would actually take over here on the g file. Then you can maybe try queen to h6, but then queen to f3 is coming, and this is I would say again a much better position for white. White will include then the queen into the game on the g file, and black has now really tough time to defend his position. So risky choice, as I said, this move king to f7. Pragg continues with tiny little inaccuracy with queen to f3. Rook from a to g8. You see now Volodar can finally compete on the g file, and Pragg continues with rook from a to e1. Queen to g4, queen takes g4, rook takes g4. The game is becoming now more and more solid for both sides. Again, I would say a slight advantage for white, but if nothing complicated happens, this should probably end with a draw. Rook to c1 here by Pragg. Good decision. He's trying to change now the direction of the attack. He's trying now to search for options on the c file. And now Volodar continues with this idea that he produced. He played now king to f6. Although again the engine doesn't like this move, but he's trying to somehow complicate things in the continuation of the game. The better choice is to play here rook to g6. You have to be more solid here for the pawn on c6. Then after something like c4, d takes c4, rook to c4. Then you can go with the king towards here the queen side, and then you're fast enough and you can still protect this pawn on c6. Again, white has a slight edge, but this is finally defendable here for black. But okay, after rook to c1, Volodar continues with his plan. King to f6, and after c4, he continues even with king to f5, which is really not a good choice, but Pragg was somehow, I don't know, surprised probably by this idea, because the king is coming closer. The king is coming now towards white side of the board. We have now c5 here by Pragg, bishop to a5, rook to b1. Good move, great move by Pragg. He's occupying, of course, now the only open file. Okay, we have still the g file, but nothing dangerous can happen here because the rook is controlling this one. And now Pragg is simply going for the weaknesses here in black's position on the 7th rank. We have now rook to g2, rook to b3. We have king to e4. Volodar is coming closer and closer with his king, and now rook from f to b1. Again, a good choice here by Pragg. King to f3. Volodar is not stopping with his king. Really crazy stuff. Although here again the engine says you should go back, try to defend your position here somehow. Go simply try to defend it. Although look at this, Pragg would have probably played here rook to a3. The position is not so easy to defend. Here in this position, rook takes b4. It's not possible because you get checkmated. That's now, I think, the only threat that black has here in the continuation of the game. But rook to a3 with the calm, rook takes a7, and I think the position is slowly but surely collapsing here for Volodar. But okay, he tried king to f3. Pragg continues with f5, which is still a good move. The computer evaluation is here about +5 in white's favor. The passer is going, the rooks are very good. Here they will probably attack again the 7th rank, and now Volodar continues to make progress further with the king. So his idea is now very spectacular one. He's trying now to play king to e2, king to f1 in some lines if it's possible, and then bishop to e1, locking out now somehow the e file and deliver checkmate with this beautiful rook battery on the g file. We have now f6, rook from the second rank to g6. You see the position is really bad, but even if you try, I don't know, bishop to e1, this not working because there are always checks, and then you have to step back. In this particular line, you can maybe grab here this piece, but now after this check, this pawn is rolling, and now the position is collapsing. If you, of course, get the rook here, then the rook gets deflected from this one. So this was, I think, an obvious, again, also winning chance for Pragg. So after f6, Volodar tried rook to g6. We have now a rook to b2 by Pragg, king to f3. We have rook to b3, and after king to e2, now Pragg makes the decisive mistake. Now he plays rook from this first rank to b2, and this move is now finally allowing here Volodar to play this pattern king to f1, and with this idea to deliver checkmate. So Pragg jumped from computer evaluation of +7 to -4, which is really crazy. Pragg basically lost now the game in one move. Look at this, king to f1. Now there is a checkmate threat on g1. Pragg has to now deliver check, and Volodar has, of course, here this idea to cover with the bishop, and Pragg has to now give up the exchange. But of course, look at this. Pragg has 11 seconds on the clock. Volodar has about a minute on the clock. They're still battling. We have now rook to b1, king to e2, bishop to f4. Pragg lost now another pawn, and now Volodar is, of course, trying to escape with his king. Rook to g4, rook to b7, rook to f7, f4, h5, king to g2, and now after h4, king to f3, and here after h takes g3, a great move here by Volodar, and king takes g4, g2 has been played, and in this particular position here, Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa resigned. So what's the issue? Of course, you have to now play a move like rook to b1, but now any idea is working. You can play immediately rook to g7 and promotion, and you can also promote here, and then after rook to g1, you can now pick up the rook here on the g file. Both of these lines are simply working here for black, and fair resign, I would say, by Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa after move G2. So, complicated game. Prague messed up the perfect game. He could have won this one. Then Prague actually would have battled for the first place. Now Volodar was the one, had a little bit luck, but this is rapid chess. We know anything can happen. I still think Volodar is the deserved winner because he just played in the given opportunity the best chess, and he is now a new world champion in chess history. So great games we have seen here. Unfortunately, this thing with Magnus Carlsen happened. I would love to see, of course, Magnus Carlsen always play, but sometimes our egos are much more important. Also, the FIDE has its own ego, so I don't want to really dive too much into this because I'm not really a big fan of these dramas. I just love to see beautiful chess. We have seen great chess, and of course, in the next couple of days, we're covering the great games from this rapid event. Great games we have seen: Alireza versus Arjun Ergaisi, Hans Mokeniman against Hikaru Nakamura. So there are about 100 great games for sure here from this event, and I'm going to try to cover more of this beautiful chess event. So congratulations again to Volodar for winning this FIDE World Rapid Chess Championship. In the continuation of this tournament, we'll see now also the Blitz section, the World Blitz Chess Championship, in which we'll see again very spectacular games. So far, this is it for today. Thanks for watching, and of course, chess is the best.